It is hard to say Happy New Year because, sadly, for many across Australia with drought and bushfires, it's been anything but. I've spent a good deal of my time in the thick of it and visiting people in unspeakably impossible circumstances. And I'm sure you know I'm broadcasting tonight from Bateman's Bay, which is 280 kilometres south-southwest of Sydney. It's a beautiful part of the world, but it's part of the Eurobodalla Shire. 85% of that shire is national park. And now in the middle of some of the worst devastation I've ever seen. I have come here to try to reduce some of the hysteria surrounding bushfires and drought and help to alleviate the stress and trauma faced by too many. Over a week ago, I visited these parts. No matter how good you are with the English language, what I saw is beyond description. Danica from our newsroom has tried to capture this trauma and tragedy firsthand. The pictures are simply devastating. Here she is talking to Richard, who owned a business in the beautiful little village of Mogo, 10 minutes from here. And let me say, what you see here is just a tiny sample of devastation everywhere. This is what Danica has done.
Initially, the fire come from this way down the hill. You could see it trickling through the bush. It all come just this way, and it was like a hurricane of just fire. Everything that could catch fire caught fire.
Richard Adams thought he was going to die when the New Year's inferno suddenly trapped him in and raged around his 44-acre property outside of Mogo.
Made a call to my wife and Janine in town and said the house is gone. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Using a firefighting pump, he managed to save his home, but not his livelihood.
The woodworking machines that we use for both sides of the business, it's gone.
The Mogo shopfront survived, but not the workshop. $1.5 million worth of stock and personal items destroyed. Tools,
equipment, parts, cars. Personal cars have been restored probably 20 years ago.
In November, one of Richard's sons died. The pair restored vintage cars together, including a prized green Torana, now reduced to rubble.
It's the most sentimental one because my son Jack, that's the one he wanted.
And the kids used to...
Yeah, help fix them when they were young, to get out of going to bed, which was funny. You know, they'd want to come and help and do this and help me with bolts or hold a spanner. From the age of 3 or 4, they used to follow me around.
Like many business owners who are counting their losses, the rebuilding process is a long one.
What happens next for you?
Probably sort out what's salvageable, what's not, and then hopefully around March we'll go and buy more stock.
A local economy in need of support and love more than ever.
Well, if I were to give you a comparison with which you are familiar, it would be the bombing of Iraq. It's that bad. We've seen plenty of pictures in the recent weeks, but these, the pictures you've just seen, are pictures of the aftermath. And I should point out that only last Thursday more homes were lost. And we woke here this morning to the rancid smell of smoke from bushfires burning half an hour away at Maruya. Places that you've never heard of, like Nirragunda. It's a little village not far from here. They've lost everything. Places like Kaya, south of Eden, 45 homes gone. What I want to do with whatever influence can be exerted is to highlight the devastation and find out simply what can be done immediately to assist people who've lost everything. I took some of these people to dinner last night. The stories were horrifying, and we'll share some of them with you tonight. Millions of dollars have been raised by a generous public. These people have seen virtually nothing. Governments say they'll help, but bureaucrats become the government. Endless forms have to be filled out. I listen to all of this and I feel I have to confess totally impotent. They tell me if your house is burnt down, there'll be some support, $75,000. Where the hell does that get you? These are innocent people, savaged by nature. We've got to be more generous than this. After all, whatever these disasters have cost, and it would run into the billions, there are billions of dollars in economic growth to come from rebuilding communities. Our money, taxpayers' money, it's ours, must be used in this rebuilding generously and now. Many businesses are out of business. Not because they were burnt down, but because those who shop have no money. Or the Prince's Highway was closed for 2 weeks. The King's Highway to Canberra for 5 weeks. No people, no trade, no income, no business. One of the women I invited to dinner last night was wearing someone else's dress. She's got nothing. I'll try to make sense of all of this tonight and again on my radio program 2GB 873 tomorrow morning.